Thanks, Reed. Thanks, Algiers. I am G.D. Fenderson. I am the country's foremost certified forensic humorist. And welcome to the Who's Paranoid Now? Shelter in place. I'm not leaving. I'm not touching that mic. You first. No, after you. Galaxy Hut Virtual Comedy Show. I'm coming to you from. Okay. By coming, I don't mean coming in the Louis C.K., Matt Lauer, R. Kelly, Robert Kraft kind of way. I mean coming like consensual coming, like you willingly came, like no one forced you to come, that kind of coming. So, as I was saying, welcome to my safe place, my panic womb. And speaking of wombs, last week was Mother's Day. I'm sorry, where are my manners? Would y'all like to come in? It's a little cramped in here, so we may not be exactly 6 feet apart, but maybe if you all ball up in the fetal position, it's fetal in here, and it's fatal out there where Trump is king and Corona is queen. So let me get you in here real quick. Okay. All right. Okay, where was I? Okay, right. Mother's Day. Right. Mother's Day. In honor of Mother's Day, and my late mother, I'm going to tell you the 2 jokes that my mother did know when she was alive. She only knew 2. One of them is not funny, and she probably stole it from another old black comedian in the 50s. And the other joke I had to explain to her because she didn't understand it. She just liked to tell it. So I'm going to tell you both of them. Here's the first one. Now I'm telling it in the same person that my mother's I'm telling it like my mother used to tell it, okay? My mother would say, a guy in the emergency room approached me and he said, hey, how about when I get out of here, we go back to my place and we do 69. And my mother says, well, why don't we do 68? And the guy says, I don't know what 68 is. And my mother says, well, you do me and I owe you one. Okay, that's not that. It was a lot funnier in 1970 when my mother told me that joke. It's not so funny in 2020, year of hindsight. But again, it's one of the 2 jokes my mother knew. The second joke my mother told me, and she did not understand it, I had to explain it to her. Tarzan is swinging through the jungle on the vines, and he sees down in the river there's a nude woman bathing in the river. And he jumps off the vine and he goes up to the woman in the river and he says, me Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. What's your name? And the woman says, Jane. He goes, what's your whole name? The woman says, cunt. Now, my mother didn't get that one, and she goes, I don't understand that. And I said, Mom, it's a homonym. And she goes, cunt has a homonym? So, those are the 2 things. Now, and I apologize, but they're in honor of my mom. So, here's the deal. Yes, you over there in the corner, yes. Okay, see, Tarzan says, what's your whole name? Now, he says it, and it's spelled W-H-O-L-E, but Jane heard it as H-O-L-E, and she answers, cunt. See, and my mother didn't get that, and she was like, I don't understand. I said, Mom, it's a homonym, and my mother thought that cunt was the homonym and not whole. And my mother goes, cunt's a homonym? So, that's it. Well, now, you know something? The sheer fact that a lot of you who are professional comedians didn't get that means my mom was not so stupid after all. So, thank you. I just thought my mom was stupid. Now I see it's something in the English language, maybe. So, um, I'm 60 right now. I'm 60. There's no secret. People know. I've been telling a joke like that for the 5 years I've been doing comedy about my age, because I didn't start doing comedy until I was 54. So I was a late bloomer. So, but the only person I've ever watched grow old was my mother, because I met my mother. She was 27 or 28 when I met her. I didn't know who she was until she was about 29. But she was young, she was vibrant. Her and her sister used to throw parties that would last for days and days. And my mom when she raised me to be, she was both a feminist and she was also a traditionalist. So my mom would say to me, you have to judge a woman by the same standards you have to judge a man. But you have to be chivalrous. Now, for you young people, if you don't know what chivalry is when a man treats a woman like she's fragile and the weaker sex, but you do it with respect. So it's like sexist light. So that's the way I was raised. So I understand about sexual harassment in the workplace because of my mom and the way I was raised and how respectful I am. And hopefully the Me Too movement will pick up more steam and will catch on and become a more important force in society. The thing is, women are not the only ones getting sexually harassed in the workplace. And I'm not talking about farm animals because they're practically begging for it. I'm talking about men. Men get harassed in the workplace. It happened to me, and because of that, I started my own hashtag. Since the women have Me Too, I'm not going to culturally appropriate it. I'm doing Me Also. So I'm doing hashtag Me Also for men who've been sexually harassed. I was going to do it men as well. I was going to do it me as well, but that sounds too much like me as well, and that's another whole hashtag, and I can't get with that one. So Me Also. Now, this happened to me a few years ago. I used to play in the band, and when the band broke up, I decided to go solo. And since most of you have not heard of my illustrious musical career from the 80s, well, I was performing at Elizabethtown College in Pennsylvania, and I was singing, and I was dancing, playing guitar. You know what every young black guy did in the 70s and 80s. That was me. That was what we did. And when I finished performing, this young producer from North Carolina approached me, and he says, I like what you do. He says, would you like to tour with us? And I said, yes, I would. Well, I don't know, let me think about it. Let me talk to my fiance. And then the producer leaves. When he leaves, this group of black guys come over to me and they go, so did Kenneth ask you to tour with us? And I said, yes, he did. He goes, just so you know, he's going to press you for sex. I said, okay, thank you. Now, since none of you have ever heard of me before tonight, you never heard of my great musical career, obviously, I did not have sex with Kenneth. Or if I did have sex with Kenneth, I was really so bad that it did not help my career. But let's just give me the benefit of the doubt and say I did not have sex with Kenneth, and so therefore, I still have my dignity. Now, I'm not against people who do sex for sexual favors for promotion and stuff like that. I'm not against it. I don't care. I just can't do it because I have pride in myself, and I want to earn what I have. I don't want to be on stage playing guitar and singing and dancing, and then somebody yells out, "Hey, you! You suck! Oh my God, you're awful! Whose dick did you suck to get this job?" Kenneth. Now, with comedy, if I tell a bad joke and somebody screams out, "You're awful! Whose dick did you suck to get this job?" I can say my own, because I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for myself. Nobody's helping me. So that's it. Alright. So, as I was saying, hashtag me also. Now, my mom is the only person I've ever watched grow old. She's, I said her and her sister were vibrant party animals. I mean, they'd have parties that literally last for days and days and days. And actually 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those were the 3 days those parties lasted. You come in Friday and you leave Sunday morning. That's how long those parties were. So, my aunt, over time, suffered a number of strokes, and she became wheelchair bound, and she couldn't talk, she couldn't change her diapers. She was sitting in a diaper, and the only thing my aunt could say was, die, die, die. That's it. She'd say, die, 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 die. And my mother was her primary caretaker. And my mother would get frustrated because my mother knew this woman to be so vibrant, and my aunt would only say, die, die, die. And my mother, after a while, would try to interpret what she was saying. So I'd come visit. I said, hi, Aunt Dodie. And my Aunt Dodie would say, die, 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 die. And my mother would say, your Aunt Dodie says hi. And she likes your haircut. So, okay, thanks, Mom. And come back a week later, and Mom, say, hi, Aunt Dodie. My Aunt Dodie go, die, 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 die. And my mother would say, that's right, that's your nephew. You remember him, yes. And that's his girlfriend, Kim. You remember Kim, right? Die, 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 die. Yes, Kim, Aunt Dodie says you look nice. So, after a while, my mother began to insert too many things into the conversation. Hi, Aunt Dodie. Die, 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 die. Aunt Dodie says she doesn't like your haircut. You need to lose a few pounds, and she hopes you're using protection. Thanks, Aunt Dodie. We're using protection. Thanks. Now, my Aunt Dodie slowly, but sure, got worse and worse over time. And I was expecting a phone call any minute now. In the middle of the night, I was expecting a phone call to find out that my Aunt Dodie had passed. And so around 2 o'clock in the morning, the phone rings. And it's my aunt's number, so I know it's my mother calling. I pick up the phone and go, yeah, Mom? And in the background, I can hear, die, 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 die. Your Aunt Dodie says that she's upset that you dropped out of college. And she doesn't think that Ann is the right girl for you, that you should be back with Kim. She had good childbearing hips. Mom, you called me 2 in the morning to say that. I'm calling for your Aunt. Your Aunt Dodie, die, 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 die. And she wants to know when you're going to come visit. You don't visit like you used to. And when you come, could you bring me a cheesesteak sandwich from Mr. G's on Route 40? Now, meantime, while I'm on the phone with my mother and my aunt, my cat comes in. My cat, his name was Jean-Claude Van Damme Cat, because Jean-Claude Van Damme was a very popular martial artist back then. So my cat was Jean-Claude Van Damme Cat. And so he walks in the room and he sees me upset on the phone. He looks at me and he goes, and I said, Mom, Jean-Claude says he doesn't think Aunt Dodie's saying those things. And my Aunt Dodie said, die, 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 die. And my mother said, Aunt Dodie says Jean-Claude is full of shit. No, Mom, Jean-Claude thinks that you're just afraid to tell me what you really think. And so you're just saying these things that Aunt Dodie said that she didn't say. That conversation went on for a very long time. Eventually, I just put the cat on the phone with my aunt and let the two of them talk it out. So, I'm going to finish with this because actually I wasn't paying attention to time, but I kind of timed this out to be like around 10 or 11 minutes. So, I just want to end with, what do I want to end with? I have a note here. What's that note say? No, that's not funny. Fuck that. Okay, here we go. With this coronavirus, being 60 now, I get to go to the stores early in the morning when there's no one else there except for maybe 5 or 6 other old people. That's it. So I was standing in line, and everything in the supermarket has rows. There's an in row and up row, and so everything is marked very clearly where you can stand. And there was a woman in the checkout, and there's another woman standing only 4.5 feet away from her, not 6 feet, and she just loses her shit. You know, she's like, "Excuse me, you got to hurry up. You got to. Why are you in this lane? There's only one lane open. You got too many things. You should be in the 15 or less aisle. There's only one register open." And the lady just going on, and she's just losing her shit. And then I realized I knew the woman. Her name was Patience. That's called a dysacronym. See, an acronym is when you name somebody something that's appropriate. Like if you have a kid who's very, say, quiet and keeps to himself, and you name him Sniper. See, that's an acronym. A dysacronym is when someone acts in a way. Oh, you know, so this is perfect. A dysacronym is a name where the person does not act like their name, like Patience. That's a dysacronym. I thank you so much. I just got the low battery warning from my earpiece here, so this is like perfect. Thank you so much, and back to you, Reed, in the studio.